And welcome everybody to part something of the Pokemon Gold walkthrough, because I do not remember exactly which part we on. It's either 32, 33, can't exactly remember it right off the top of my head. And in this part we are going to be taking on the Dragon's Den, which is a very simple task. And then afterwards we will be going through the Bell Tower to face one of the legendary Pokemons in Generation 2. So that's what's on the agenda for today, but again, starting off, we are going through the Dragon's Den. Dragon's Den, it's only in the water can you run a Pokemon. Gold Silver version, there are no trainers to face. That's only in the Crystal version. Heart Gold and Soul Silver do you get to face trainers. And this one, you just go around, pick up a few items, some hidden items as well. And again, there are some Pokemon in the water you can get. Surfing-wise, Magikarp 90%, Dratini 10%. Fishing-wise, Old Rod, Magikarp 100%. Good Rod, Magikarp 90%, Dratini 10%. And Super Rod, Magikarp 60%, Dratini 30%, and Dragonair 10%. In the Crystal version, you talk with the Dragon Elder, who will be found over in this little hut right here, which is just there in this game, but for no reason. In the Crystal version, Heart Gold, Soul Silver version, you talk to the Dragon Elder over there, and he'll ask you a couple questions about how to raise Pokemon. If you answer all of them correctly, or even if you don't, you'll get yourself a Dratini level 15. I'm not sure what level is Heart Gold, Soul Silver. If you answer them right, your Dratini will have the move Extreme Speed. You answer any one of them wrong, and he'll get Leer instead. But our whole entire purpose of coming in here is to get the Dragon Fang. Once you get that, you get the Rising Badge, and with this, we are now able to take on the Elite Four. But again, before we do that, there is a lot of exploring we need to do. More trainers we got to fight. We got to continue going through the area of Johto before we crossing over to Kanto to take on the Elite Four and start the second half of this game. Yes, you know, we're only done with the first half of the game by taking on one continent. Now we got the second one and another 8 gym leaders to go against, which again is what makes, in my opinion, the second generation to be the best generation of Pokemon. You know, you got your own gym leaders you go against, but then afterwards you got a whole nother set of gym leaders to go against. 16 gym leaders, 2 whole regions to explore, and of course everyone knows at the very end of it you end up going against Red, the person that you controlled in the first game. There were just so many things done right within Gen 2 that no other generation was able to do to top it, or at least in my eyes. You know, some of them threw in more graphics, some of them threw in more little mini games, which are fun and all, but again, just the way that they went about making the second generation is what tops it in my eyes over any other generation of Pokemon. You know, I know a lot of it is basically based on personal opinion, but again, in my eyes, it's those little things that make Gen 2 so good. But because we had no trainers to fight, and because of Max Repel, we got that done in pretty much less than 3 minutes. So now we're getting a call from Professor Elm, and because we got all the badges of this region, he's going to be giving us a Master Ball, which I will be saving for rare Pokemon. Now, what I'm going to try and do, you know, it's 100% run as far as items and trainers goes. However, as far as collecting all the Pokemon, it is not. And that goes for legendary Pokemon as well. I'm not really going too far out of my way to catch them. However, I will make the attempt to. Now, I say attempt, hint, hint, as to how this video is going to be going. I say attempt because obviously I'm not going to be able to get to every single one. Because some of them, you know, they're a pain in the ass to catch sometimes. And because this is more of a run showing all hidden items, all trainers to fight, and not so much focused on getting the whole entire Pokedex at its peak form, you know, I really just didn't care too much. You know, if I couldn't catch a legendary, if it came to the point where I just couldn't, then it was just whatever. Okay, but now we're going to be entering the Bell Tower, the area where you can go and face off against a Ho-Oh, or in the Crystal version, the Ice type, which, I don't know, the pronunciation of this type of Pokemon has always been able to go past me, and I know it's a Water type, but I always consider it an Ice type because it looks more ice-like. I think you pronounce it Sweeney. I don't know. I've never known how to pronounce it because I don't watch the anime. I don't know how it's fully pronounced. I honestly, I just don't give a damn. You know, but you can either capture him in the Crystal version. Well, that is the Crystal version. Obviously, gold version Ho-Oh at level 40. If you're playing the silver version later on, after you go through the Kanto region, you can get yourself the rainbow feather, which you can come back and try and catch one at level 70. And you can also come back in crystal version and try and capture one at level 60. Now, as far as getting up to there, there's, I think, 9 floors. It's not really too confusing to go through, as you know, if you've done it before. There are a couple items hidden around. Actually, there's quite a number of items hidden around, but again, very easy to get, and chances are you're going to find them because they're, you know, it's more, the whole entire bell tower is basically one big maze that you basically just got to go through. But with that, it's very rare to happen. Kind of like with most building areas that have Pokemon in it, it's very rare to run into them. However, there is the off chance that you will. Okay, we got for all 3 versions, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, morning, afternoon, 100% chance to catch a Rattata, and in the evening, it's a 20% chance to catch a Rattata, 8% chance to get a Ghastly, and that is how it is for all floors 2 through 9. And again, it's kind of, you know, kind of like with any, kind of like the Bellsprout Tower, you can also catch Rattatas or Ghastlies in there. Or was it the, yeah, it is the Bellsprout Tower, I believe you can catch them in there. Excuse me. But it's very rare occurrence to actually run into them. It's unlike the caves where almost every 3 steps you're going to run into a wild Pokemon. And I think it's just because of the fact that it's based in the sense of a building, it's going to be less chance of them being infested in there. I guess is the best way to put it. You know, kind of like insects. And the thing is, I think this is the 5th floor, which is in these, the 5th, 6th floor. I think it is, starts at the 5th floor. You have these little red carpet teleporters that you go through. They're not completely random. You know, if I was to step back into that one, I'd go right back to the exact same place. And again, it's mainly going through these just to get all the items, because again, that's what the 100% part about it, except for that one that's behind that one door. That really pissed me the fuck off, because I just didn't want to deal with trying to figure out the combination for it, because I tried every one I could possibly think of, and I didn't feel like spending hours upon hours there. Kind of like with the legendaries, I don't really plan on spending too much time trying to capture them, you know. If I do, great. If I don't, whatever, you know. And I'm not going to go through and do the whole Master Ball glitch just so I can capture them, because again, I'm not looking for a Pokedex thing. You know, I'll show you where the legendaries are, and if I catch them, I do, great. If I don't, I don't. You know, kind of like how in this episode, I don't end up catching it. You know, you can call me a prick, you can call me a dick, I don't give a shit. But I'm just not going to waste so much time just trying to capture a Pokemon for a simple walkthrough, you know. You know, something simpler than that, yes, but when it comes to catching legendaries, it's really not all that simple sometimes. And goddamn, the audio video is extremely off in this one. Can't exactly see why, but once you get through going through all of that whatever, you have Ho-Oh to deal with, and I'll just let the rest of the video speak for itself, because I did a little bit of editing there. And so that's basically it for part so-and-so, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of part so-and-so, where we continue doing some more exploring throughout, basically more caves and extra areas that I wasn't able to get to before, but now that I have the ability to use Whirlpool and Waterfall, I'll finally be able to explore them, and we'll be taking care of that before taking on the Elite Four, so we'll see you guys then.